All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into something pretty wild, a brand new way to get our heads around our next big trip to the moon. I mean, how do you take a super dense technical document and turn it into a living, breathing model of an entire space mission? Well, it turns out AI has an answer. Let's dig in.
So, let's talk about NASA's Artemis 2 mission. I mean, this is a huge deal, right? It's the first time we're sending a crew to fly around the moon in, over 50 years? And you know where this whole incredibly complex journey starts? It all begins with just one document. And this isn't just any document. This official mission plan, it's basically the mission's Bible. We're talking thousands of details covering everything from launch to splashdown. Every single critical event, every orbital phase, every little test they have to run during that 10-day flight, it's all in here. This is the master plan that Mission Control will be glued to, literally down to the second.
But that brings up a really big challenge. I mean, think about it. How can a static PDF, just words and numbers on a page, really give you a feel for the mission? It just can't capture the massive scale, the physics, the sheer complexity of a trip to the moon. You know, reading about a trajectory is one thing, but feeling it, truly getting it, that's a whole different ballgame. Okay, so this is where it gets really cool. The solution? An AI-powered simulator that literally brings that mission plan to life. We're talking about a tool that lets you experience the mission, not just read about it on some document. Think of it like this. The tool is basically a digital twin of the mission. It's a runnable Python model, a virtual copy of the real thing. And the incredible part is that it's built directly from the text of that official plan. It bridges that gap between just, words on a page and getting a real quantitative, interactive feel for the journey. And that really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? The whole point is to move beyond just passively reading a PDF. The goal here is to let you actively explore the mission yourself. You can ask it questions, and boom, you get real data, real numbers back in an instant. And let's be super clear here. This is way more than just some fancy animation. No, this thing is a powerful engine for analysis. It lets you run all sorts of what-if scenarios, it can generate figures for you instantly, and it creates these amazing data sets that can be used for pretty much anything, from research to education. I mean, you can get a real gut feeling for the mission's trajectory and what the crew's up against. Okay, that all sounds great, but the big question is, how? How in the world does this system read a document and then build a working model of a space mission that actually follows the laws of physics? Let's get into the nitty-gritty. Well, it all kicks off by basically reading the document. The simulator starts by scanning the mission plan and finding these key mission parameters. We're talking about things like the exact timing for the big translunar injection burn. The AI is smart enough to find and pull out these critical numbers right from the text. And check this out. Something as simple as one number can be the trigger for a massive event. For instance, this one, 25.145 hours. That's the mission elapsed time for that translunar injection burn. It's the key data point that says, okay, now's the moment Orion fires its engines to break away from Earth's orbit. The AI finds that number in the PDF and uses it to trigger that exact event in its physics model. It's pretty amazing. So really, the whole process breaks down into 4 main steps. First, the AI ingests, or reads the raw mission plan. Then it extracts all those key parameters we just talked about. Step 3, it uses those numbers to build a model, a dynamical system. And finally, it runs the simulation, which generates this really comprehensive, interactive data set you can play with.
Okay, this is where the simulator's true power really shines. Because it's not just about recreating the mission as it's written. It's about using it to ask, what if? It's about exploring alternate timelines and getting immediate, data-driven answers.
Let me give you a great example. You can compare different mission scenarios. On the one hand, you have the nominal mission. That's the full 10-day plan, everything going exactly as expected. But what about a high radiation scenario? What if there's a surprise solar particle event that doubles the radiation dose rate while the crew is in that deep cislunar space? That's a huge what if. And the simulator doesn't just guess, it gives you an immediate quantitative answer. You can see right here in the table, the peak radiation dose for the nominal mission is around 15 milligauss. But in that high radiation scenario, it jumps all the way up to 30. That's almost double. That is an absolutely critical piece of information when you're thinking about crew safety. And when you visualize it like this in a bar chart, the impact is just instantly clear, isn't it? You've got the nominal mission at about 15.2 millisivane, and then the high radiation scenario at 30. It just highlights how vital this kind of modeling is. figuring out the risks long before anyone ever leaves the ground. So let's zoom out a bit. Why does turning documents into simulators like this even matter? Well, it's because this is way bigger than just this one mission. This points to the future of how we understand, well, everything. I mean, just think about all the people who could benefit from this. Aerospace engineering students, they can actually learn orbital mechanics in a hands-on way. Mission operations analysts, they can study the timeline and sequence of events. You could even have science communicators or museum exhibit designers building interactive kiosks with this stuff. It really opens the door for so many more people to get involved. When you really think about it, this is pointing to a future where we don't just read complex information anymore. We're going to interact with it. We're going to explore it. And that leaves us with a pretty exciting question, doesn't it? If any complex document can become an interactive world, what should we explore next?